Hello everyone, welcome to CN questions discussion. As part of this GATE 2021 paper 2, we have 4 questions from CN. We have 4 questions from CN. So what are the 4 questions? Have a look quickly. So this is one question which is based on data link, which is based on distance vector routing, that is from network layer. This is the question from TCP which is related to the connection management, means I can say that overall it is the transport layer based question. And this is the question from Aloha. I can say that this is based on data link layer because data link layer is responsible for MAC. It is data link layer is responsible for collision, handling for the collisions, right? So for the handling of the collisions it uses MAC protocol. So this Aloha is one of the MAC protocol, so that I can say this question is from data link layer. And the last one we are having here, CRC, which is error control one, and that too this is from data link layer. So overall from data link layer we have 2 questions. From network layer we have 1 question. From transport layer we have 1 question. So this is what the syllabus, this is what the classification of computer networks questions with respect to layer wise. So from data link layer we have 2 questions, that is from specifically 1 question is from error control and 1 question is from so this is from error control, which is the CRC, and another one is from access control, which is Aloha, right? Aloha based question comes under access control, CRC based question comes under error control of data link layer. And from this network layer we have 1 question, and the topic is routing algorithms. From routing concept we have 1 question. And from transport layer we have 1 question, and this question is from connection management. This question is from connection management of TCP. So this is the way how the 4 questions can be splitted, right? So first we will be discussing about the CRC based question. So look at the question statement here. Look at the question statement here. So the question is, consider cyclic redundancy check based error detection scheme having the generator polynomial xq plus x plus 1. Suppose the message m4, m3, m2, m1, m0 is equals to 11000 is to be transmitted. Check bits C2, C1, C0 are appended at the end of the message by the transmitter using the above CRC scheme. The transmitted bit string is denoted by M4, M3, M2, M1, M0, C2, C1, C0. The value of the check bit sequence C2, C1, C0 is dash. So that is option A, it is given that 101. Option B, it is given that 111, option C, it is given that 100, and option D, it is given that 110. So which is the check bit sequence? That is what the question here, right? So look at, so CRC, cyclic redundancy check. So this CRC technique uses modular 2 division, it uses modular 2 division to generate the check bit sequence. And before this modular 2 division technique, the transmitter appends n-1 number of zeros to the m of x, n-1 number of zeros to the m of x, where n is the length of g of x, right? So what is the m of x here? I can say that this is given that m of x 11000 And what is the g of x? X cube plus x plus 1. This is in binary, this is in polynomial. So we need to convert this into binary. So how can I convert this generator polynomial, which is x cube plus x plus 1? Have a look. So what is the maximum exponent here? 3. So that I am going to have the binary data, the corresponding binary data length is 4. And this is x power 0 position, this is x power 1 position, this is x power 2 position, and this is x power 3 position. So in the given polynomial, x cube is presented so that this 0 is now 1, means I can say that this position I can convert as 1. X square was not there as part of the given polynomial, so that it can be continued as 0. X power 1 position is there, x is there, that is why this position is converting to 1, and x power 0 is also there, so that this is also being converting to 1. So overall the corresponding binary format for the g of x is 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1. And what is the m of x we have? The m of x is 1 1 0 0. So since the g of x length is 4, before starting of modular 2 division technique, we need to append n minus 1 number of zeros to the m of x. So look at, before starting of modular 2 division technique, for this m of x, which is 1 1 0 0, for this we are appending 3 zeros. These are the 3 zeros which are appended. And now what is my g of x here? The g of x is 1 0 1 1. Okay. So now we are starting modular 2 division here. So the modular 2 division technique concentrates only on the MSB bit. What is the MSB bit here? 1. So that the quotient is 1. So 1 into 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 is 1 0 1 1. So now between these 4 bits 1 1 0 0 and 1 0 1 1, we will do XOR operation. So what is the XOR operation result here? 1 1 1 0. This can be cancelled and this 0 can be placed here or else added here. Then what is MSB here? Again 1. So that the quotient is 1. So 1 into 1 0 1 1, which is 1 0 1 1. So then perform the XOR operation 1 0 1 0. So this 0 gets cancelled and this 0 we can add here. Now what is the MSB bit here? 1. So that the quotient is 1. So 1 into 1 0 1 1, which is 1 0 1 1. Then again we will do XOR operation. So that is 1 0 0 0. So this 0 gets cancelled and this 0 will be added here. So now what is the MSB bit here? 0. So that quotient is 0. 0 into 1 0 1 1, which is going to be 0. Then what is the XOR result here? 0 0 1 0. So this 0 gets cancelled and this 0 will be added here. And this is the last 0. So now what is MSB bit here? 0. So that my quotient is 0. So 0 into something? 0. Then XOR operation if I perform 0 1 0 0, and this 0 can be cancelled. Is there any bit is left here? No, all the bits we have processed. So now whatever the remainder we are having now, this remainder is called as CRC. This remainder is called as CRC here, and this is all the procedure which is done by the sender. This is all the procedure which is done by the sender. After generation of this 1 0 0, what the sender will do? The sender will replace this n minus 1 number of zeros. The sender will replace this n minus 1 number of zeros by this remainder, which is 1 0 0. So that the message that should be transmitted. So message that should be transmitted, message that should be transmitted, message that should be transmitted is as follows. What is that message that should be transmitted? 11000, which is m of x, plus these three zeros are replaced by this CRC, which is 100. So this is my CRC. I can say that according to the question, this is my check bit sequence. This is my check bit sequence. Okay, so what is the check bit sequence that is been appended to this original message, that is 11000 while it is transmitting to the receiver? 100. So among the options, 100 is matching with option C, so that option C is the answer for this question. So I believe you are clear with my explanation. This is the question from computer networks, and this is part of shift 2 question paper of GATE 2021 examination. And this question is from distance vector routing algorithm, which is part of network layer. Okay, so before solving of this particular question, let's recall distance vector routing little bit information, and then we can start solving of this question. Okay, right. So coming to the distance vector routing algorithm, it is a dynamic routing algorithm. That could be the first point. And this distance vector routing algorithm is introduced by Bellman-Ford, and it is implemented by Ford-Fulkerson. Hence, we can say that this distance vector routing algorithm is also referred as Bellman-Ford algorithm or else Ford-Fulkerson algorithm. Then coming to the third point, distance vector routing algorithm about whole network. And the second principle is information sharing only to the neighbor routers, information sharing only to the neighbor routers. Only to the neighbor routers. And the third principle is irrespective of topological changes, irrespective of topological changes, updations takes place periodically. Updations takes place periodically. So these are the three principles on which this distance vector routing algorithm is functioning, and this is what is simple short notes on distance vector routing. So now based on this information, we are going to start solving of the question which we are having from GATE 2021 question paper based on this distance vector routing algorithm. See, the question statement is, consider a computer network using the distance vector routing algorithm in its network layer. The partial topology of the network is as shown below. The objective is to find the shortest cost path. Of course, it is routing algorithm, so that it needs to find out the shortest cost. So, the objective is to find the shortest cost path from the router R to routers P and Q. So, here we are having router R. From here to here and to here, we need to find out the shortest cost paths. Okay. Assume that R does not initially know the shortest routes to P and Q. Yes, obviously, because P and Q are non-neighbors to the R. So, that initially it is unaware of both of them. Assume that R has 3 neighbor routers denoted as X, Y and Z. So, these are the 3 routers which are neighbors to the R. During one iteration, R gets the routing vectors. During one iteration, R measures its distance to its neighbors X, Y, Z as 3, 2 and 5 respectively. So, from R, the distance towards the X, towards the Y, towards the Z is given as 3, 2 and 5 from R, right. So, from R towards the router X, towards the router Y and towards the router Z, we are having the costs of 3, 2, 5. This is what it has given. Router R gets routing vectors from its neighbors that indicate the distance to router P from routers X, Y, Z are 7, 6 and 5 respectively. See, router R gets routing vectors from its neighbors that indicates that the distance to the router P from routers X, Y, Z are 7, 6, 5 respectively. What does it mean? From from router X, router Y, router Z towards the P, the costs are given. So, look at from router X towards the P, the cost is given. So, X to P, what is the cost we are having? From X towards the P, we are having cost of 7. We are having the cost of 7. From Y towards the P, what is the cost we are having? 6. From Y towards the P, we are having cost of 6. And from Z towards the P, we are having the cost of 5. We are having the cost of 5 from Z to P. So, now we are calculating the shortest path from R to P. So, look at, we are having 3 possibilities here. So, what are the 3 possibilities? If I want to travel from R to P, one possibility is via X, right? And what is the cost of R to X? 3. What is the cost of X to P? 7. So, that R to P cost is 10. Got it? Then another possibility is from R to P via Y. This is another possibility. So, from R to Y, what is the cost I am having? 2 plus from Y to P, what is the cost I am having? 6. So, that 8 is the total cost from R to P via Y. Via X it is 10, via Y it is 8. Then there is another possibility to reach from R to P, that is via Z. So from R to Z, what is the cost I am having? 5. And from Z to P, what is the cost I am having? 5. So that 10. So as per the question statement, we need to find out the shortest cost. So among these measures, which one is the shortest one here? The shortest one is 8. So this could be updated here. So this is the shortest cost. This is the shortest cost. Okay. So then we are moving to the next one, which is R to Q. R to Q. So from R, X, Y and Z, these are the neighbors, and now we are having Q here. Okay. Look at, so the routing vector also indicates that the distance to the router Q from routers X, Y, Z are 4, 6, 8. From X to the Q, the cost is 4. From X to the Q, the cost is 4. From Y towards the Q, the cost is 6. The cost is 6. From Z towards the Q, the cost is 8. The cost is 8. And the cost from R to X is 3, from R to Y is 2, from R to Z it is 5. So now we are willing to calculate, or else we need to calculate the shortest cost from R to Q. So from R to Q, we are calculating now via X. The first possibility is via X. So from R to X, then Q. So R to X, the cost is 3, X to Q, the cost is 4, so that it is 7. And what is the next possibility? From R to Y and then Y to Q. From R to the Y, the cost is 2, and from Y to the Q, the cost is 6. So total it is 8. Right? So it is 4, 6, 8, right? Yes, it is 4, 6, 8. Right. Then from R towards the Q via Z, it is 8. So, but R to Z it is 5 and Z to Q it is 8, so the total it is 13. So then among these measures, which one is the shorter one towards R, from R to Q? 7 is the shorter one, so that this could be updated now. So this is the shortest cost from R to Q, and this is the shortest cost from R to P. Right. So now have a look at the options. So which of the following statements are correct with respect to the new routing table of R after updation during this iteration? Option A, the next hop router for a packet from R to P is Y. From R to P is Y. Have a look. What is the shortest cost I am having from R to P? 8. And this 8 is possible via Y. So that from R to P, the next hop is clearly specifying that Y. So, but according to the question, option A, it is mentioned that the next hop router for a packet from R to P is Y. Is it correct or not? Yes, this is correct. This is correct. From R to P via Y, only we are having the shortest cost, so that I can say that Y is the next hop for R to P transition. So hence option A is correct statement. Then coming to the option B, what is it option B? It is saying the distance from R to Q will be stored as 7. The distance from R to Q will be stored as 7. Look at the distance from R to Q will be stored as 7 because the 7 is the shortest one among all these measures. So that the distance from R to Q, obviously the shortest cost is 7, so that it would be updated. That is why option B also we can say correct. Option B also correct here. So the distance from R to Q will be stored as 7 because the 7 is the shortest one according to the measures which we have done here. Okay. Next, option C is saying that the distance from R to P will be stored as 10. The distance from R to P will be stored as 10. Look at how it gets stored. As 8 it gets stored because 8 is the shortest one. But option C is saying that the distance from R to P will be stored as 10, which is incorrect. So option C is incorrect here. Option C is incorrect. Then what is the last one we are having? Option D. The next hop router for a packet from R to Q is Z. From R to Q is Z. R to Q via Z, what is the cost we are having? 13. But what is the shortest cost from R to Q? 7. It is possible via which one? X, but not Z. So the next hop for R to Q transition must be X. But option D is saying that the next hop between R to Q is Z, which is incorrect. Which is incorrect. So after having this analysis, we came to know that 2 statements are correct and 2 statements are wrong. So what are the 2 statements that are correct? Option A and option B. But option C and option D are incorrect. So hence the answer for this question is A and B. Both options are correct. Okay, so both options are correct. So I believe you are clear with my explanation. This is the next question from GATE 2021 question paper, which is related to the second session, and the question is from computer networks. So coming to the question statement, consider a network using the pure Aloha medium access control protocol where each frame is of length 1000 bits. The channel transmission rate is 1 Mbps. The aggregate number of transmissions across all the nodes, including the new frame transitions and retransmitted frames due to the collisions, is modeled as a Poisson process with a rate of 1000 frames per second. The throughput is defined as the average number of frames successfully transmitted per second. The throughput of this network is rounded off to the nearest integer here. So we need to calculate the throughput of this network. And this question is Aloha concept, and it is related to the data link layer. Okay. So according to the question statement, first let's gather the information. So bandwidth value is given, transmission rate. Bandwidth value is given. So what is the given data we have? Bandwidth is given, which is 10 power 6 bits per second. And the frame size is also given, 1000 bits. L is given as 1000 bits. Okay, so from these two, what I can calculate? From these two, I can calculate the Tx, which is frame transmission time, which is 1 millisecond. So 1 millisecond we are getting as transmission time of a frame. And according to the question, it is mentioned that 1000 frames per second can be transmitted. 1000 frames can be transmitted per second. So 1000 frames can be transmitted within 1 second. Then within 1 millisecond, how many frames I can transfer? That is 1000 frames by 10 power 3, which is 1 frame, right? So within 1 millisecond, we can transfer 1 frame. So it means that this 1 frame I can consider as a load, that is G. So the G value I am getting here as 1, which is I can say load on the system, load of the system. Okay. So and what is the, so since the question is related to the pure Aloha, in pure Aloha we have a formula to calculate throughput of the pure Aloha. So the throughput of the pure Aloha is, or else throughput or efficiency, anything you can say, right? Throughput of pure Aloha, efficiency of pure Aloha, which is S is equals to G into e power minus 2G. This is the expression which we are using to calculate the throughput of pure Aloha. So what is the value of G we are having? G is 1, so 1 into e power minus 2 into 1, 1 into e power minus 2 into 1, which is 1 by e square, correct? So this value I can simplify as 0.135. So what is the value of 1 by e square? 0.135. Okay, so then what is the meaning of, so what is the meaning of this particular 0.135, or else you can say that this is 13.5% of efficiency. But the system is generating only 1000, the system is generating 1000 frames per second. The system is generating 1000 frames per second. And what is the throughput here? The successful number of, average number of frames successfully transmitted per second. So with this efficiency, which is 13.5, okay, so with this efficiency, out of 1000 frames, how many can be successfully transferred? That is 0.135 into 1000. If I do this, then I can get the average number of frames that can be transmitted per second. That can be like 135 number of frames, right? So I can have, I have considered only 3 digits after this point, okay, but still we can have some lengthy. So overall 135 number of frames can be successfully transmitted per second for this system. So this is the explanation for this question, and 135 is the answer for this question. I believe you are clear with my explanation. The next question from computer networks as part of GATE 2021 second paper is this particular question, right? So the next question from GATE 2021, the next question from computer networks as part of GATE 2021 shift 2 question paper is this one. So this question is based on transport layer. This question is based on transport layer. So first let's have the description about what is the basic information to solve this particular question. This we are going to know, and then we can start solving of this particular question. Okay. So first we have to know transport layer functions here. Transport layer functions. So the functions of transport layer, you can say that the PDU is segments, okay, and so here what do you mean by PDU? PDU, which is protocol data unit, or else you can say that the data format that is supported by the transport layer is segments. And the next one is, it is responsible for connection management. It is responsible for connection management. And the next one is, it is also responsible for flow control. It is also responsible for error control. It is also responsible for congestion control. And this transport layer also responsible for segmentation and reassembly. And this transport layer also responsible for providing port addressing. And the last one, you can say the other functionality of transport layer is, it provides process to process delivery. It provides process to process delivery. So whatever the question we have, this is the question. It is with respect to this functionality, which is connection management. So what is the definition for the connection management? Connection management refers to connection establishment, and connection release. Connection management refers to connection establishment and connection release. So how transport layer is performing this connection establishment and connection release? Or else in other words, we can say how TCP is performing this connection establishment and connection release. So why it is TCP? Because TCP is a reliable connection oriented protocol. It means that if we want to make data transmission, first we need to establish the connection. After making the data transmission, the connection should be released. So here we are speaking, but if you consider UDP, UDP is unreliable connectionless protocol. It does not require any connection, but the transport layer requires the connection establishment before making the data transmission, right? So it means that the connection establishment is the key point with respect to solving of this particular question. Look at it is clearly mentioned that consider the three-way handshaking mechanism. So what is this three-way handshaking mechanism? The transport layer or else the TCP can do connection establishment using three-way handshaking. So it uses three-way handshaking to establish the connection. It uses three-way handshaking technique to establish the connection. So this is the root point for saying this particular three-way handshaking. So basically the three-way handshaking we are using for establishing the connection. So look at the question. Consider three-way handshaking mechanism followed during the TCP connection establishment. See, look at. So during the TCP connection establishment, we need to consider the three-way handshaking mechanism. And that is between two hosts, that is P and Q. So who are the sender and receiver here? That is P and Q. Let X and Y be two random 32-bit starting sequence numbers chosen by P and Q respectively. Suppose P sends a TCP connection request message, TCP connection request message to Q with a TCP segment having SYN bit is 1, sequence number is X and acknowledgement bit is 0. So according to this particular line, you need to recall TCP segment. So what is the header format of a TCP segment? So for that, have a look, the TCP segment header format you will be having header here and we will be having data here. The first one is source port number, which is 16-bit, and the next one is destination port number, which is 16-bit. After that, we have sequence number. So what is the length of this sequence number? 32-bit. So that is why the question have given you 32-bit sequence number. The question have given that 32-bit starting sequence number. Okay? So remaining acknowledgement number. So this acknowledgement number also 32-bit. So like we are having several fields here like HELEN, reserved, flag section, window size, urgent pointer, checksum, options. So like this we will be having several fields as part of this TCP segment header format. So why I have drawn this figure? Reason is to recall you about the sequence number length, which is 32-bit length. The same it has mentioned in the question statement. So 32-bit starting sequence number is chosen by P and Q. Suppose P sends a TCP connection request message to Q with a TCP segment having SYN bit is 1, sequence number is X and acknowledgement bit is 0. So here we need to draw the connection establishment phase of TCP. See, look at the connection establishment phase of TCP. TCP connection establishment phase. TCP connection establishment phase. So in this TCP connection establishment phase, TCP uses two flags. It uses two flags. What are the two flags it uses? Synchronization flag and acknowledgement flag. These are the two flags it uses. But it does not use finish flag here because it is a connection establishment phase. So among the given options, so based on these flags itself, so what are the two flags we are using in the connection establishment phase of the TCP? Synchronization flag and acknowledgement flag. But among the options, it has given that finish bit also, which is finish flag status also given. So are we using any finish flag here? No. So that what should be the status of the finish flag? Obviously, it should be 0. But among the options, if you verify, option A have given that finish bit is 1, which is incorrect. So based on these flags itself that can be used, that are used as part of the TCP connection establishment phase, that is synchronization and acknowledgement. Apart from these two, we are not going to use any flag, right? So hence this particular statement is incorrect here. Option A is incorrect here. So the answer is among B, C, D, because in all the three options the finish flag has given that 0, right? So then coming to the further one. So what is the TCP connection establishment phase diagram? If we consider this is the sender, so according to the question the sender is P and this is my receiver, that is Q. So this P wants to make a communication with the Q, means it wants to make the data transmission. But before making the data transmission, we need to establish the connection. So that connection, how it is happening, we are doing here. So first it is sending a synchronization request. So this is synchronization transmission. So what is that segment? What is the corresponding segment that is being sent by P to the Q as a synchronization segment? Look at this, could be the segment. The segment is saying that the segment is having some sequence number. So what is the sequence number according to the question it has mentioned? X. What is the sequence number it is having according to the question? X. And what is the acknowledgement number it has mentioned? 0. And here, since it is a synchronization transmission, only synchronization flag can be set here, but not acknowledgement. So that what is the corresponding flag status in this synchronization segment transition is synchronization flag is 1 and acknowledgement flag is 0. This segment have been forwarded to the Q. Suppose Q accepts the connection request, okay, fine. So whenever this synchronization request have been transmitted to the Q have accepted this synchronization request from P. Which one of the following choices represents the information present in the TCP segment header that is sent by Q to P? So means that the question is speaking about this transition from Q to P. Whatever the TCP segment we are having, this TCP segment fields, the values of this field, this segment fields, it is concentrating or else it is asking. So this response, this response, you can say that piggybacked response. So what is this piggybacked response? That is synchronization plus acknowledgement. Synchronization plus acknowledgement. Both will be there, right? So means that synchronization flag also set, synchronization flag also set, and acknowledgement flag also set here. So synchronization flag is setting and acknowledgement flag also setting. But here only synchronization flag is set and acknowledgement flag is not set. And for this transition, what is the sequence number? What is the acknowledgement number? This we have to know. So what is this acknowledgement number defines? The acknowledgement number defines the next expected byte sequence number, right? So here it has, the queue have received a segment, the queue have received a segment which is having the starting sequence number as X. Yes or no? Then what is the next expected one? That is going to be X plus 1. This is the acknowledgement number. Then what is the sequence number for this segment? Y. See, very easy question it is, but the question of the length seems very high, bit larger, but it is very easy question. And just to have a better understanding of this particular solution, let me give an analogy. There is a boy and there is a girl. The boy having some crush about this girl. He wants to propose to this girl. Then this boy directly can't express to her, right? So what he is doing, he is asking her to come up in a private location, like some library or else some temple, to that particular temple or else to the restaurant or else to library. So he is calling this particular girl. So for calling to her, he went to this particular girl and he is asking to this girl, like, I have some information with me, I want to transfer that to you. Can you please come to particular location? This is what synchronization. He is not transferring the data. He wants to propose her. But first what he is doing, in a public location, he can't do that. He can't propose. Then what is his thought process? Let her invite to restaurant or else to temple or else to library, and then let me transfer the data. This is what the thought process of the boy, right? So that is why he went to the girl and he is requesting her, which is synchronization request. I have something information for you. I want to transfer that information to you. Will you come to library? This is what the synchronization request. Then this girl is responding to the boy. Like, of course, this girl also having some crush about this particular boy. Then this girl also willing to propose to him. So whenever the boy have requested the girl, then girl also showing interest. So that is what acknowledgement. Yes, I will come. That is what the acknowledgement. I will come to the library. As well as I am also having some important information. I am also having some important information to share with you. Don't forget to come to the library. So means that she is also indirectly requesting him. Don't forget to come there. I will be coming. As you requested to the library, I will be coming obviously. And at the same time, you also don't forget to come there because I am also having some information. So she is also having some synchronization request. She is also having some synchronization request. And she is giving the acknowledgement to the boy's synchronization request. Got my point? So since she is also having data, this Q is also having the data, the sequence number of the Q is Y, which is different sequence number. And the sequence number, the data sequence number of the P is X, the data sequence number of the Q is Y. Then here, as it is a piggybacked response, both synchronization flag and acknowledgement flag can be set. Then at the end, both are dispersing now. So the dispersing is like this. So it can have some sequence number. This segment, what is this segment? This is pure acknowledgement segment. So in this particular acknowledgement segment transition, the synchronization request is 0 and acknowledgement flag is setting to 1. So the acknowledgement number for this. So what is the acknowledgement number for this? Tell me. So previously the P have received a segment. This is the segment which the P have received from Q. For this segment, the sequence number is Y, so that the acknowledgement number is going to be Y plus 1. And this is just an acknowledgement flag. And the sequence number can be X plus 1. Right? So this is the three-way handshaking mechanism which is used by TCP to have a connection establishment. So based on this diagram, now verify the options. Already we have ignored option A because in connection establishment phase of the TCP, we are using only two flags, that is synchronization flag and acknowledgement flag. We are not using finish flag. So that option A is incorrect here. Then coming to option B. What the option B is saying, have a look. Synchronization bit status is 1 and the sequence number is Y. So synchronization bit status is 1. Look at synchronization bit status is 1 and the sequence number is Y. Look at the sequence number is Y and the acknowledgement bit is 1. Yes, because it is a piggybacked response. And ACK number is X plus 1. See, look at the ACK number is X plus 1. And the finish flag status is 0. Yes, obviously the finish flag status is 0 because it is a connection establishment phase in which we are using only two flags, that is synchronization flag and acknowledgement flag. So it means that option B is indicating all the correct values. So that option B is correct one here. Of course it is correct, but still we are verifying with the option C and option D. Have a look. So option C is saying that synchronization bit is 1. Yes, synchronization bit is 1. And sequence number is Y. Yes, the sequence number is Y. And the acknowledgement bit is 1. Yes, the acknowledgement bit is also 1. Now the acknowledgement number is X. This is where option C is wrong. Actually the sequence number, which sequence number the Q have received from P, that is X. Then what should be the expected one? X plus 1. But here it is given that X. Hence, based on this particular line, based on this particular sequence number of acknowledgement, option C is incorrect. Option C is incorrect. Based on the finish bit status, option A is incorrect. I believe you are clear with why option A is incorrect, why option C is incorrect, and why option B is correct, right? Then check it out with the option D. The synchronization bit is 1. Yes, the synchronization bit is 1. And the sequence number is X plus 1. Yes, the sequence number is, so what is the sequence number here? It is given that X plus 1, but the sequence number here is Y. X plus 1 is the acknowledgement number. It is not the sequence number. So based on the sequence number information itself, we can ignore option D, or else we can state that option D is incorrect. And here the acknowledgement number is given that Y. So if these two are interchanged, then option D can be the answer. That is what option B is mentioning here. So based on this sequence number and based on this acknowledgement number, we can say that option D is incorrect. So overall, according to this TCP three-way handshaking connection establishment phase, corresponding sequence numbers, acknowledgement numbers, corresponding flag status, based on all this information, only option B is giving the correct information. Hence, the answer for this question is option B. So this is what the explanation for this question to say option B is correct. Okay?